Fuck, I just dropped the shit out of my phone. I was talking to people on Discord. I made a new Discord server for, like, everyone on Patreon and everyone who supports me on Twitch and stuff. And I just recorded a video on the female orgasm, but now I'm gonna record a video, not with the glasses, because the glasses are for the sex ed series, or I like to use them to distinguish my looks or whatever. So today we're gonna talk about car crashes. I'm sorry that I'm doing weird shit before the video. I like to keep these a little bit more informal. That's why I don't edit them. That's why I don't put in all the music and whatnot. I do put the little thing that bloop tells you about my other channels and stuff, but this is still going to be on my gaming channel, so it's kind of moot. I guess you can follow twitch.tv/Tara Babcock. Okay, so I was watching Tana Mojo today, and I love her. I just discovered her recently, and I love just listening to her while I'm putting on my makeup, and usually her videos are like twice as long as it takes me to put on my makeup, but it's so fun to listen to her rant, and like, Tara, come on. Both blondes? Why don't we know each other? Why aren't we friends? I don't get it. Anyway, she mentioned something about hitting a car or whatever, and that reminded me of all the times that I was involved in a car crash or had some kind of car-on-car violence issues, and I wanted to tell you guys about them because a lot of them are quite funny. I'm gonna quickly cover this first one, which is the last one that happened to me. I had a car that my mom gave me that she owned before me that I fucking loved, and it's the only car I've ever owned. Jay has a car, but that's the only car I've ever owned, and I loved that car, and I was souping it up. I got it new rims. I did a bunch of really cool shit with it, and then Jay was driving it one day, and we got into an accident with some bitch fucking pulling out right in front of us when we were just driving, and it was clearly her fault. She pulls out in front of us to turn into fucking like an Alcoholics Anonymous place, and she was clearly disoriented, and it was just awful, and the cops didn't give her a fucking breathalyzer, and I was like on the verge of beating this woman to death because you know how I am. But our friend Wesley, that I don't talk to anymore, but you guys might remember him from my streams and my older Mario videos, he was like, don't worry about it. She's a degenerate. She probably wishes she had your life and stuff like that. And like, it made her look so pathetic to me that I stopped being murderously ragey, if that makes any sense. But I was really mad because I fucking love that car and I only got a couple bucks for it. So we're not going to talk about that one today. We're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it light. I need to swallow. And we're going to talk about all the funny situations or the interesting situations that I've had with car accidents. I've never had anything really terrible happen with car accidents, so I'm sorry if you have. It's fucking sucks. I'm afraid of cars. I don't like driving. I don't like driving on the freeway. All I can think about is the terrible things that can happen with this fucking violent, dangerous machinery, and it's fucking insane to me that we're not on tracks on the freeway so that, like, the tracks can just stop us if another car is getting too close to us and we have to, like, you know, it should be more of a high-tech system that doesn't allow for just running into each other, and it's just, oh, like, I don't want, the thing that's worse than death to me is being like a paraplegic or being completely paralyzed, like from the neck down, only being able to move my eyes, or like other fucking crazy things that can happen to my spine or whatever because I get in a car accident. So I fucking drive carefully, and I always make Jay drive carefully, and it's, oh, whatever. So, we're gonna talk about car accidents. There was this funny time. Okay, I was in LA and I was doing a bunch of shoots, and I had a friend named Bantang. His real name is John, but, I call him Bantang because that was his in-game name in World of Warcraft, and we met through World of Warcraft, and he became quickly one of my best friends. So he lived in LA, and I was coming down for shoots in LA, and he drove me to San Diego for a shoot that I had to do, and then drove me back, and it was like the fourth shoot of the day, so I was already tired, and he was really tired, and he was just driving me there, and it was a 2-hour drive back to LA, right? So we get back to LA, and we get into our hotel, and he was like staying in the same hotel as us because he lived like on the outskirts of LA, and he wanted to spend more time with us. And simultaneously, as I was doing these shoots, the next day I also had to get up early for a StarCraft tournament. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was MLG Anaheim a couple years ago. Not 100% sure on that. But we come pulling into our fucking hotel, and he needs to pull into a pretty tight space. It's not like crazy tight, like I could have done it, space between two cars in our like parking garage for whatever fucking LA hotel. And he pulls in and just like goes, and just scrapes along the fucking side of some dude's fucking poor car and like didn't stop. It was like his brain didn't click that he had collided with an object or what that screeching sound was, but he just like kept going, and there was like a giant gash down the side of this guy's like fucking car, and fucking Banting starts freaking out, and he's like hyperventilating, and he's calling his parents, and I don't know what the fuck he was calling his parents for, but he's like, what do I do, blah blah blah, and I'm like, it's fine, just leave a note with your name and number or whatever and have him call you. So he calls, and it's some like Asian dude who clearly had a like very expensive car, and he was like kind of annoyed about it, but he was like, yeah, fine, let's just exchange info. That's what Banting said. But this Asian guy, he was like, I don't really want to exchange info. Can you just give me a certain amount of money? And Banting was like, okay, you know, I'll give you like $700 or something. So he gave the guy $700, which I don't know if that's worth. I don't know why he didn't want to give his information. It's kind of shady when someone doesn't want to exchange information, because it means that it's either not their car, it might be a stolen car, or they don't have, you know, fucking insurance, which they should, which like kind of really sucks. But yeah, it was just hilarious, like how tired he must have been, and like how, like, I don't know how we did fucking raids with him, or like how he was our main tank or our healer ever, when he just like couldn't do hand-eye coordination, couldn't do understanding. He had no cognitive abilities about anything at that point, and it was just hilarious. And I'm glad that at some point he stopped freaking out and I got to make fun of him, because it was pretty hilarious. All right, another story. I have a bunch of these stories, so I'll do as many as I can. I had gotten my tongue pierced on my 18th birthday, right? And my mom drove me down there, and it was my mom, and then me, and then Jay, and then my best friend who was living with me because my mom adopted her because she had a terrible home life. I need to make a video about that, but her name is Madelle, and then you know Jay, and then there's me. So we were driving in, and I got my tongue pierced. Was it my tongue? Yeah, so it was my 16th birthday, because my 18th birthday I got my tattoo and my clitoral hood pierced, but on my 16th birthday I got my tongue pierced. I was like, why am I still having my mom drive me places? Anyway, so we're pulling out, and there was a bus. Okay, so we're pulling out like this, right? And there was a bus like right here just stopped, and we pull out like that, and it was my mom's brand new fucking car. It's like those Chevys that look like PT Cruisers. I can't remember the name of it, but she got it like in bright purple, and she fucking loved that car. And she's always very careful, a careful driver, a scared person, just like way more like illogically scared of everything than I am. And she is also a school bus driver for a living, so she can't have like her fault accidents on her record, you know, like she has a CDL, and it's important that she's a good driver. So she's pulling out, this bus is here, and this guy coming, like trying to just get around this bus, this Mexican guy in a terrible fucking car, he comes around and he just goes bam, like into the back of my mom's fucking car, like trying to pull around this fucking bus, and like slams her into the curb, and the bus is, or the fucking like wheel of her new car is like bent up this way, and the car just looks like we got in a deadly crash, but none of us were hurt. Madelle, the friend, wasn't wearing a seatbelt. I wasn't wearing a seatbelt, but I was fine, and I could like, I could talk, but it was a little lispy because I had just got my tongue pierced, and my mom just bursts in tears. And as I've told you guys before, my mom is incredibly emotional. She handles things when she has to, but I feel like I handled a lot of things where she was just emotional. She starts bursting into tears. She doesn't know what to do. She's like, ah, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call my dad because she's crazy. So I call my dad. I'm like, mom just got in a car accident. I don't know what to do. I'm like sending him pictures, and we're like taking pictures, and I'm like talking to the cops about it. This guy doesn't have car insurance. And we take it to court, and somehow my mom loses because she was entering the fucking lane and he was just changing lanes, but he was clearly the crazy fuck that ran into her back, and it was just like ridiculous. And this guy was so apathetic about it, and like, he was just like a piece of shit human being the way he was acting, and clearly didn't have insurance and couldn't pay for anything, and it just sucked. The situation sucked, but my mom got it fixed and wasn't really much out of her pocket, and it was cool. So it wasn't that big of a deal, and no one was hurt. There was another time, what was it? Oh, okay, I was doing a shoot in LA, and apparently LA has a lot of fucking car accidents when I'm involved. So, one of my favorite photographers to shoot with in LA, his name was John King, I think. Yeah, John King. I always forget, like, I mix up the names. It's been so long since I've been doing that, like, every day, 5 shoots a day type of modeling life. But anyway, he books me for a whole day. And he also books out this like, it's like a huge garage, right? I feel like they added it on to their house, but it's like a studio in the backyard of their house that's like gigantic and really nice, like a really high-end studio. And so he books me, and then he rents that out, and he parks his truck like back ways in so he can get all of his equipment out of the back of the truck. And we shot, and it was a great shoot, and we played music, and it was fun, and we talked, and he was gonna take me out to eat, right? So he just gets in his car, and he was gonna back up a little bit to avoid the cars in front of him, and just like slams into the daughter of the owner of the apartment's car. Like, oh my God, or of the studio, not the apartment. So it was like the studio place, right? And like, he's just like, oh fuck. And it just like ruined the side of this guy's daughter's car. And it was like, so, oh my God. And the guy came out, and he wasn't mad, but he was like, oh, and I guess John King hadn't, like, noticed that there was a car that happened to be there after he parked his car there. He just thought, well, when I parked my car there was nothing behind me, so we're good, right? And it just, like, slams it. It's, like, so embarrassing, because this guy who is, like, a patron to this guy's studio often now has to deal with the fact that he has to do something about, like, ruining the fuck out of his poor daughter's car. And he had just bought his daughter that car, too. Like, it was, like, some guy whose daughter was 16, and he was like, oh, with all this money I'm making from this modeling studio, I'm gonna buy my daughter a new car. Oh, well, now it's ruined by one of the patrons of the people who paid for that fucking car, basically. So, it was pretty hilarious. Yeah. I don't know. I like stories like this. I think it's fun. As long as nobody got hurt, it's kind of interesting and entertaining the way that things happen. And there was this one time, like, a lot of the accidents that I've seen or been involved in are, like, the other person just, like, has no business having a fucking driver's license. You know, like, someone who doesn't have insurance, who, you know, fucking just, like, bought a car on Craigslist that doesn't need to, you know, be insured or something. I don't know what the fuck is going on there, but that just doesn't seem great. I feel like they should be more stringent on who can get driver's licenses. I mean, like, the girl that lived with me, Madelle, her boyfriend, like, failed the driver's test, like, 6 times or something, and at some point he just got a license, and I was like, God, if you fail 6 times, you really shouldn't be driving. And these people are just, like, with not giving a shit about anyone else, driving dangerous, murderous machinery around with the fucking top down and the music blaring, and they're texting on their phones. And have you guys been seeing these ads? Now that I've been watching more YouTube again when I'm, like, getting ready and stuff, I see these ads for, like, it's like a webcam in the top right corner, like a girl streaming, but it's her inside of her car texting, and then you can see, like, it's like a dash cam outside the window, but it's, like, really high quality. So there's no way that this is real, right? Because no one's filming themselves and then also filming their road, and they're, like, teenage girls. But it's always, like, them texting, and then it's like, oh, and then they, like, go rolling around in the car, and, like, it ends before they die or whatever. But it's supposed to be something that scares us out of texting while driving, and I feel like it's very obscure, and it's kind of like, is this a movie? What is this? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I don't text while driving, so I'm good, right? I think those are pretty powerful, though. Like, not those ones, but the ones that tell you, like, this was the last text they sent before they died. I don't know, it's all gimmicks and it's all bullshit, but it has a great message. And, yeah, don't drink while driving. Don't fucking drive without insurance. Like, it's important that you do these things and observe the safety of the road, because it's not just about getting tickets. It's about fucking, like, dying. Life or death, and something worse than death is being in a body living that you cannot control because you fucked up once. And it's just like in a split second you can get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So I try to stay away from driving as much as possible. It's just, I don't know. That's not the way I want to go. You know what I'm saying? Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was entertaining. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I will see you guys again with another vlog topic. I'm not sure what I want to do next. I have my Q&A video that needs to go up soon. It might already be up before you see this. I might do that one on Sunday, and then the Shit Tara Says on Monday, and then this one on Tuesday. So you might be seeing this on Tuesday. I don't know. Maybe my scheduling's all fucked up, and I'm all fucked up over this, like, losing my vlog channel for 2 weeks. I feel like I was making sturdy progress and everything was going great, and now at least it's still visible, so people can still, like, watch the videos on it, and people can see in the comments that I said that, like, 2 weeks I'm out of commission for a little bit. But it's frustrating, you know. It's frustrating when, you know, someone fucks with your livelihood and you don't feel like you deserved it. But clearly, you know, I knew that there was that disparity between, you know, people choosing what fan service stays up and what doesn't. So I probably just should have. I feel like it was a mistake to make that a public series in the first place. I feel like a lot of people didn't take it for what it was, which is just, like, fun, you know, chill fan service that has a good message about sex positivity. And a lot of people were just like, hey bitch, where's my FAP shit? Where the fuck is it? Like, every month. And it's like, I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for the people who support me and the people who, you know, have a brain and can comprehend these kinds of ideologies and things. So yeah, I think keeping it at a very, very low cost on my Patreon, like $1 or something, is probably the best way to go. I don't want to post on Pornhub. That's not what it's about. I don't want to post on a different, you know, a different venue, because for me, YouTube is what it is. YouTube and Twitch are my two things, and I don't want to go off now being a Vimeo person and trying to link everyone different places. That's just not me, and it doesn't make me happy, so that's not what I'm gonna do. You know, don't care what you think about it. It's what makes sense to me, and my patrons back me, and my longtime viewers back me, and that's all I care about. So I love you guys, on a side note, and I will see you guys tomorrow. probably, or the next day. If this is Tuesday, it might be on Thursday that I see you, because sometimes I don't get the sex eds done in time. But either way, I love you. Mwah. See you soon.